Welcome back. Let's find out if we've got anything wrong so far. For that, we go to TV's Andy Levy. So, Andy, did you see President Obama on Jay Leno Tuesday night?
I did not. Was any good?
He was his usual self, but he had an interesting line about the Republican debates. Larry, do we have that tape?
Have you been watching the GOP debates?
I'm going to wait until everybody's voted off the island.
Really?
Once they narrow it down to one or two, I'll start paying attention.
Right.
That's a pretty good line.
Did it sound at all familiar to you?
A little, I guess. Why?
Oh, I don't know. Larry, do we have that tape of Red Eye from like a month and a half ago?
It was like Survivor, but with smart people. I speak of yet another Republican presidential debate, this time on CNN, hosted by the dude with the beard. Who is that guy?
Can you believe that?
That's so cool.
What do you mean? President Obama ripped off my idea? That's not cool.
Dude, this obviously means President Obama watches Red Eye.
You think?
I don't see any other possible explanation, Greg.
I guess there really isn't any other possible explanation then.
No, President Obama is a Red Eye fan.
Wow, the most powerful person in the world's favorite show is Red Eye.
Absolutely.
We got to get this out.
Yep. People got to know.
Yeah.
Yep. Police move in on Occupy Oakland and Atlanta. Greg, at some point you said, quote, meaning Sharia law, which people fear might come to the U.S.
Yeah.
Really? People are going around fearing that?
People on the 5 are.
Are they? Really? I mean, non-insane people, not like Pam Geller.
Yes. I was just trying to point out that is Sharia law that's happening in Boston.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
Can you argue with me on that? I don't think so.
I just don't think there are a lot of Americans running around going, Sharia law. Dana, thank you for pointing out that Greg has been making fun of the occupyings from the start. Sometimes he likes to pretend he's a libertarian who might have some empathy for protesters.
Yeah, from the very beginning, he nailed it. He nailed them for exactly what they were.
Do you know what?
First day.
I was right. I said, I made a big stink about it, about their stink in the beginning. And then I decided in a meeting, I said, you know what? Let's see what happens. Let's not talk about it. But then they continued their stinkiness.
In a meeting.
That's true. I was there.
Yeah.
You were there in the meeting.
It's true. It was a committee meting.
Yes.
Yeah.
We did a lot of twinkling.
Yeah, absolutely. It didn't mean the same thing that it meant for them, though.
Yes.
No. Oh, I thought you said twinking.
No,
Sorry. Michael, you said the media is projecting all their views on the occupiers, and I agree. But don't you think a lot of this is being driven by reporters who grew up, hearing about the 60s, but they were too young for that, and they view this is their chance to be part of history?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I don't have anything really to respond to that because you're right, Andy.
Okay.
Because you're agreeing with me.
Yes, absolutely. It's an agree fest. Until now. Chris, you said it's time for our mayors and governors and commander-in-chief to do something, and you suggested rolling in the tanks. Seriously?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yes.
Really? First of all, what is the commander-in-chief supposed to do about this? This is an internal, he's not, you can't send the army in internally.
Declare martial law.
No, that's what you're looking for here?
But the commander-in-chief...
There's federalism there.
The commander-in-chief is actually pulling troops out of Iraq, so I think that asking him to do anything in the United States is probably unlikely.
Also probably unconstitutional.
just a bit.
Well,
I've never been one to be bogged down by constitutionality.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Andy,
I get in trouble with the trivialities.
Chris, except when you're, out with your Tea Party buddies, proclaiming the supremacy of the Constitution.
I have nothing to say.
No.
But Andy, don't you see what he's getting at?
I sure do.
You know what he wants? A lot of uniformed men in shape out on the street, and he's going to be out there with a brick going, come and get it.
It's true. It's true. You're on to me. I've been on to you. I try to get arrested all the time. I just didn't want to say anything. Too polite.
God. Regardless of anything, this whole thing in Oakland, doesn't anyone think it's a bad day when America looks like a Middle Eastern thugocracy?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why everybody's worried about Sharia law.
Exactly. Yeah. Michael, you thought it was weird that, it got violent in Oakland with it being a Democratic-controlled city and all. The only time I've been to Oakland is for a Raiders playoff game. It looked a lot like what was going on last night.
Yes, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't have a Raiders joke in that segment at all.
Well, I did that it was for Leno's benefit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so now he can use it tomorrow or whatever.
Okay.
Must have been a long time ago that Raiders playoff
I
game.
actually had that in my original note. I wrote, which tells you how long ago that was.
Yeah.
Yep. Dana, you said Mayor Bloomberg could have stopped all this after a couple of days by saying to the protesters, you're in a private park, move on. But wouldn't the owners of Zuccotti Park have had to ask him to do that? Since it's
right. Well, yeah, I guess. But I think if the mayor had any foresight, he would have done it. Now, do you think?
But I don't,
like, what do you think Rudy Giuliani would have done?
Well, I don't. My point is, could he do anything with that? If it's a private park, if John and Maria Zuccotti own that park, which I'm assuming they do, wouldn't Mayor Bloomberg need need them to say, hey, we don't want these people here, get them off?
Not necessarily. Like, he could have listened to the private property owners who live around there, who are irritated about the drum circles, and they could put up with it for a couple of days, but after that, I think that he could have said enough is enough.
How can anyone be irritated by a drum circle?
I don't, I get irritated by just about everything, so I can imagine it.
And yet, this will be 2 hours with Greg today.
I know.
Yeah, so far he's not wearing on me.
That's amazing.
That's the best compliment I'll ever get.
It really is.
He's not wearing on me.
A lot of people would kill for that compliment.
Today I lost my temper with Bob Beckel, so I'm still a little on edge from that.
Yeah. You're the first person to ever do that. I'm going to skip my raise the fist joke, I think. Ron Paul wants to end student loans. First of all, Greg, great read during this story. I think the viewers could tell you were really into it.
I realized I had 3 minutes hard left, and I had to get through it.
Yeah.
They got the gist of it, didn't they?
No, I'm sure they did. Yeah. Also, you said student loans have put grads $1 trillion in debt. One more. I have 3 pages, Todd. I'm talking to Todd, our producer.
It's like the 5.
Yeah. Well, all right. I'm going to skip that.
Inside joke.
I don't even know what to say here. Michael, you brought up that stat about how only 53% of students graduated within 6 years.
Yeah.
You got a problem with that?
No.
Okay, good.
And I want to pay for it.
Because it took me a little longer than that. Greg, you said if student loans are bailed out, that would get you out on the streets. But bailouts for large banks, corporations don't bother your little fascist mind, do they?
Let's be clear on the banks. Those were given to them by the government. It wasn't like it was okay, Andy.
Oh, it was the government that bailed them out. Oh, Andy, no, I don't think anybody's figured that out.
Andy. Bankers weren't occupying a park going, bail us out, bail us out. You got students in parks saying, bail us out. If they bail them out, I'm out there protesting somewhere for at least 10 minutes.
You had bankers they weren't out in parks saying bail me out. They were in high-rises paying millions of dollars of rent saying bail me out.
Who have you become? Who have you become?
Your worst nightmare. Lastly, on this PETA thing, first of all, I'm with you, Dana. I hate places like SeaWorld and zoos. Wild animals should be left in the wild.
Like the ones in Ohio?
No, but those are food animals. That's different.
No, those were the ones. Remember that from last week? That was a guy that had all the exotic animals and he let them go.
You can't blame the animals for escaping.
Yeah. The monkey had herpes.
And
oh wait, that's a different story.
No, that was the same story.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, and he would not have gotten herpes if he had been left in the wild.
Nah, that is true. Although, if you're a monkey, how do you know you have herpes? It's not like somebody saying, "Ooh, what's on your lip?" Well, unless you're some creepy person.
Yeah. Which I'm guessing is how he found out.
Yes.
Michael, you asked if the animals should get other constitutional rights. The answer is yes. Apparently, they will be able to vote. And it turns out that if you total up the value of the fish the whales at SeaWorld are given, they are part of the 1%, and their taxes will go up.
There you go.
Yeah.
Interesting fact.
Yep, I am done.
Thank you, Andy.
You're welcome, Greg.
I'll see you in a little bit. So glad he's gone. Coming up, Tom Cruise is gay, gaining more fans every day. It's because he's a class act, people. But first, what will Uday Hussein? What will Ode Snooki smell like? Will it be anything like Ode Wookie? Little Star Trek reference there, John.
A very wealthy U.S. citizen.